Well, those of you who've been picking up on what we've been talking about the last couple of days here on CutieCast TV, Man with the Show, and of course on Otaku Thursday, there's a lot going on as far as freedom of speech issues. Don't forget to drop a comment, a like, share, and hit that subscribe button. Very, very important. We're going to spend a lot of time on this episode just talking about this. Now, for those of you who are watching this week, take a moment, if you haven't watched the video yet, if you go back and we had a video out called The Foreign Political Extremist Group Influences and Manipulates American Businesses to Enact Censorship. I would suggest go check that out. It's a very important video right now. And I would suggest hitting up a couple other channels like Madam Savvy. Also, let me see. I'm just trying to pick up some of the people else that's in this. Smash JT is the other one. And the thing is, let's sit back a moment and just breathe a little bit. Take in this for a moment. As I said, war has been declared.
And it's war! And it's war! Gather the forces! Harness the horses! And it's war! Fredonia's gone to war. Each native son will grab a gun and run away to war. At last we're going to meet freedom on the streets of war. We're going to war. At last the country's going to war. It seems the country's going to war. At last the country's going to war. We're going to war. This is a fact we can't ignore. We're going to war. This is a fact we can't ignore. We're going to war.
And this is coming now out of 4chan, out of many others, gamers, those otakus, fans of anime, manga, those who are just purveyors of adult content as well. And the thing about it is, you have people out there, and I've said this, I'm blue in the mouth. Basically, you have those out there like Nosk, aka Morality Media, Collective Shout, and many other groups that are looking to censor the internet. They sit there and attack payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Stripe, so on and so on and so on. Well, just like when you've pulled on the tiger's tail or pulled on the griffin's tail, which is, don't know which one would be worse at this point, you have something called Operation Fight Fire with Fire that's being declared right now. What that is 4chan has been calling out to launch a campaign against Collective Shout. Because we're at a point whereas Visa and MasterCard has bent the knee, or someone is working with Collective Shout, and I believe that's a little bit more because there's someone, CEO of the Japan division of Visa MasterCard payment processors, who doesn't like anime and manga, and I assume he doesn't like gaming either, that is doing this to us. Now, I'm not here to defend the stuff that's super cringy, the stuff that some people say shouldn't be there. But I say that if it's legal, it should be there. And for the reason is, as much as you look at freedom of speech, there are people that I disagree with. Do they have that? Can they have their opinion? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you might say, what does that have to do with this? It's the same pattern. You have people out there that are very artistic, that are throwing out a story, whether it's in a video game, whether it's a manga, anime, doshkin, whatever, however you want to put it. And you have those out there that are like, well, I don't like it. It disgusts me. It shouldn't exist. I'm going to make sure it goes away. And that's how it is. You have those out there that, if you don't like this, don't watch it. Don't read it. Don't play the game. We've been dealing with these problems, here, especially here in the U.S., since the late 80s. It all started with music videos, MTV. Then we went into music lyrics. And then I've had this video up, the Dee Snider situation, where Dee Snider was chastised by Tipo Gore and former Vice President Al Gore. I did the other video, I said President Gore. Vice President Gore, saying that a particular song is sexually motivated, which it wasn't. The song had to deal with going under the knife in an operation, which people are afraid to have an operation. That's what the song was about. But no, that's not what they did. Then we get into the Saturday morning cartoons. We get into the gaming industry, Mortal Kombat, Night Trap. We go into television violence, and so on and so on and so on. And this has been going on for decades. And the same thing is always said. If you're going to take away one thing, you're going to take away it all. Because that is how things are. Especially in this country, we have a freedom of speech, which includes artistic expression. Artistic expression can be in a painting, a statue, a book, a movie, animation, gaming. It could be in any of those. And we've gotten to the point where there are those that are censoring it. And we now know it's not the porn. They're not protecting the children. As much as they yell, protect the children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And, as much as they yell that, they're not doing it. Because now, and from what I understand, after they've knocked out games out of Steam and itch.io, which they said, well, it is problematic sexual porn, now they're pulling horror. Some stuff that's not even graphic at all. That its subject matter they find offensive. That shouldn't exist. And then when you go to Visa and you complain about it, that they've done this, Visa comes back and tells you, well, it's risk we're worried about. We're not censoring anything. We just feel that it goes to a risk.
What kind of babbling bullshit is this?
We take risks every day. If someone goes out there, let's put it in this perspective. Someone goes out there, takes their card, goes to an ATM, pulls out $1,000, pays a prostitute for that. Are you going to stop that person from doing that? Are you going to stop that customer, shut down his account? And that has happened. There's been people that have been debanked. I think recently there was one of the other content creators has been debanked recently. Are you going to do that with everyone that you find problematic? No. You can't be doing that. You're opening yourself up for lawsuits. Which that's the next level. And and the thing about it is, when you look to the collective shout situation, and what we're hearing is that one of the members is going to be running the age assurance offices for the Australian government. That puts it in my mind, and I think about this, because I think of goofy things like this, and I think, straight out, and people say, oh, you're just crazy. She works for the Australian government. So what does that make her doing all this stuff, this propaganda war to that? That's making, like, if she's which she is a representative of the Australian government, that makes her to the point that she's attacking another country. That could be almost an action of war to that point. But like I said, I'm reading into that moment. But I'm going to read a little bit into this I'm going to give you a situation on there. We're going to read 2 articles on there. But what I want to put to the perspective is that, just a little over a week after Steam updated its guidelines to prohibit any that may violate rules and standards by the payment process, in other words, they're just going forward to this point. These 2 companies, is Steam and IO, they were going through the same thing with specific adult-only content, and they removed it. You have gamers now just banding around, for the circumstances. And this is going to get ugly now. But Polygon puts one out here. It says Visa and MasterCard are getting overwhelmed by gamer fury over censorship. Let's read into this. Let's get a little comfortable, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Get angry. Get asylum mad. In the wake of storefronts like Steam and itch.io curbing the sale of adult games, irate fans have started an organized campaign against the payment processors that they believe are responsible for the crackdown. While the movement is still in its early stages, people are mobilizing with an eye toward overwhelming communication lines at companies like Visa and MasterCard in a way that will make the concern impossible to ignore. See, the thing is, they went after these smaller games, smaller IP companies and stuff like that. They didn't expect to get a backlash like this, because they were trying to get in the back door to censorship by going small. They didn't realize we were paying attention. Yeah, Collective Show, we're watching, because we were watching Morality and Media over here. We know what they were doing, and we know what you were doing. So now you're going to feel the wrath of a shitload of gamers and anime fans and pop culture fans that are just going to really unleash. If you think that basically, the critique of movies in Hollywood and all that was massive, wait a moment. Just wait. On social media sites like Reddit and Blue Sky, people are urging one another to get in contact with Visa and MasterCard through emails and phone calls. Visa and MasterCard have become the targets of interest because the effective storefronts, both they say that their decisions around adult games are motivated by the dangers of losing the ability to use major payment processors while selling the games. These payment processors have their own rules regarding usage, but they are vaguely defined. But losing infrastructure like this impacts audience well beyond those who care about sex games, spokesperson for Valve and Itch said. And the thing about it is, people will tell you that, okay, they're a private company. No, we're far beyond that now. As it says, this is an infrastructure. This payment processors are like your electric company, your gas company, your cable company. They literally have that to that level. In an now deleted post on the Steam subreddit with over 17,000 upvotes, commentators say that the customer service representative for both payment processors seem to have already been aware of the problem. Sometimes the representative will say that they've gotten multiple calls on the subject of the adult game censorship, but they cannot really do anything about it. Well, that's understandable. Don't get mad at Steam. Don't get mad at IO. They're basically trying to keep their company going. The folks applying pressure know that someone at a call center has limited power in a scenario like this one. Typically, agents are equipped to handle standard customer issues like payment fraud or credit loss, but the point isn't to enact changes through a specific phone call. It's to cause enough disruption that the ruckus theoretically start costing payment processors money. Emails can be ignored, but a very long queue, very, very long queue, making it nearly impossible for other clients to get in will help a lot as well, reads the top comment on a Reddit thread. In that same thread, people say that they are hanging on to the call, even if the operator said that they experienced multi-hour wait times, presumably caused by the similar calls junking up the lines. Beyond the stubbornness fact that the tactical motive by the knowledge that most customer service systems will put people who opt out for callback in a lower priority queue, as anyone who opts in likely doesn't have an emergency going on. But we're gonna let that off for now, and take a chance. Go read the rest of this. It's a long article on there. But like I said, and the gamer has it also too, that users are banding together because basically we are in the crosshairs as well. We are in these same crosshairs. It ain't just the manga. It ain't just the anime. It's not only the gaming. It's all things. It's all things down the line. When I tell you, and I have many times on there, that we need to stand up and point these people out. Contact our politicians, contact these companies, contact these payment processors. That what they're doing is wrong. It's totally wrong. And like I said, we need to stand up, voice our opinion. And I know there's a lot of us out there. A lot of us. And you have to say to yourself, this needs to stop. Because here's where we're going to on this. Bound in the Comics has been reporting on X is that it seems like Collective Shout is looking to go after Madam Savvy and anybody involved in pointing this out, that they're looking to dox them. I think let me put into this to how Bounding is writing this. Collective Shout staff are now stockpiling personal and family data on creators Smash JT and Madam Savvy and more. We need more evidence of these mafia-like tactics. Please keep an eye out for attempts from Collective Shout to dox their opposition. Fear is the only tack they trust. And that is correct, because you got those out there. Hollywood did the same thing too. They came after the creators, by censoring us, by throwing up content claims on our channels. And of course, that's a dangerous precedence. That these people are, so desperate to stay in the light, to keep going and censoring the internet, that they would attack family members of those who are criticizing them, doing their job. Remember, us content creators, we're the media. We're the new media out there. No matter whether you like it or not, we are the media. We are the entertainment out there that the networks wish we would go away. One thing that shouldn't end is you commenting. Drop a comment on there. And I just want to hear about this from you. Also, share this video. If you could share it with at least 5 to 10 friends, I would appreciate it. This channel would appreciate it. Those looking to free us from this censorship would appreciate us. We need to move up to the next level. We're already attacking Visa and MasterCard for the things that they're doing right now. We're calling them out, saying, why are you listening to a small group of women in a small country? They are not gamers. They are not otakus. They are not comic book fans. They are people who want censorship. So drop that comment, share, hit that like, and hopefully today is the day I earn your subscription. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out all of our other videos here on Cuticast TV, Man with the Show. Every Thursday, Otaku Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and Rumble. And remember this. Do you have any idea how successful censorship is on the internet? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it? And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.